Cody in the morning. WSM. This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Welcome in, everybody. It's Coffee, Country, and Cody on WSM. Thank you for being with us on this Monday morning. It's a chilly start here in Middle Tennessee. Lots of fog. We are definitely in the middle of fall. So, yeah, just bundle up if you're heading outside. I actually drove to work without the jacket on, got to work, stepped outside the car, put the jacket on immediately, which I don't know why. I don't know what that accomplished, but I felt better about myself because I had it. So it was better.
Well, it's a long walk from your parking space to in here. I mean, it's upwards of 15 or 20 steps.
Probably. Well,
hypothermia can sink in very fast. So
I just felt chilly. You know, I don't like a chill.
No, I know.
I really am an 80-year-old woman on the inside. I want that blanket around me if I can. Good morning, everybody. Kelly Sutton here. That's Charlie Mattos. That's Annie and I. We've got Jeff Roberts upstairs.
You can have the Kleenex in the sleeve of the sweater.
Kleenex in the sleeve.
Yeah.
You know what I've come to carry with me at all times, and I could reach over and grab some. I have Hall's cough drops with me all the time.
Very important.
You know, it's like a hard candy almost with a little menthol.
Yeah.
It's a little extra. Well, thanks for being with us this morning. We got a lot to get to. We're going to be talking entertainment headlines, updates with Lainey Wilson, what's going on with her, all the very latest. Peace, love, and cowboys just in time for Christmas. So we'll give you the details on that. Also, George Strait headed to Death Valley. This is going to be epic. So we've got that and more coming up in entertainment headlines, including some updates from our friend Jordan Davis. He keeps running around his stadium and just talking to people and saying, who are you here to see? Mitchell Tenpenny? Yeah, me too. And people don't realize they're talking to Jordan Davis at his own show.
Did you see his new Cracker Barrel commercial? I saw it twice over the weekend during football games. Yeah, it's
fantastic.
Great. Yeah, he's eating well.
He's got those gold coupons where you get the free ones.
The gold card.
Yeah, the gold card's the best.
Yeah. Hey, he knows us. I would take a gold card or two.
Where you at, Jordan? Come see us. And last night, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on with St. Jude. Last night was such a special show here at the Opry. It was our St. Jude benefit night. Brand new T-shirt reveal. It's just a different take. If you've seen the This Shirt Saves Lives that they've had for a number of years, new design this year. We're going to tell you how you can get your hands on yours coming up in a little bit. Plus, we're welcoming in Conor Clemmons is here. Saw him getting ready in the green room.
Oh, great new single. Excited to share that with the folks.
Going to come in and hang out with us. So lots to discuss.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
And we welcome inside our Simply Superior studio this morning, Geoffrey Himes, brand new book. Geoffrey Himes. I just looked right at it. Geoffrey Himes. I'm sure you've heard a million times.
I knew there was a reason that sounded right, but not right at the same time.
Geoffrey Himes, how are you?
I'm good.
It's good to see you.
By any name, I'm good.
We won't have you tap dance for us. We'll only talk about your book.
Okay.
I was reading the back of this. I got really into it. I'm over here going, oh gosh, this is so true. Okay, so this is quite a read. We've got a lot. I was looking at it, I'm like, this is a long time coming. In-Law Country, how Emmylou Harris, Roseanne Cash, and their circle fashioned a new kind of country music, 1968 to 1985. First of all, let's talk about coming up with the term in-law country. I think that's fascinating. We've had outlaw country forever. Were you the first one to coin this?
I am.
Okay.
So I've been a music critic for a long time for the Washington Post and Rolling Stone and No Depression and lots of places, Country Music Magazine. And, I like a lot of different things. I say, people ask me what I like. I say, well, I like everything from Dolly Parton to Ornette Coleman. So,
yeah.
So it's quite a range. But one of the things I really like is this group of artists who are in this book, which is Emmylou Harris and Roseanne Cash, Rodney Crowell, Guy Clark, Ricky Skaggs, Steve Earle, and related friends. And as I started reviewing their records, interviewing them for stories, I realized that they're all had all these connections. They all wrote songs for each other. They all played on each other's albums or sang on each other's albums or were married to each other or divorced from each other.
Some of that.
Right. Yeah.
And so it was like it was this very cohesive group of people, and they were all playing a sort of very particular very similar kind of music, this sort of country music, but sort of a new kind of country music that was for a new generation that had grown up on the Beatles and Bob Dylan, but also on Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson. So, and there was this very interesting blend that hadn't really happened before. And it was different from outlaw country because outlaw country, which I also enjoy, I just wrote a book about Willie Nelson that just came out, is more about the loner, the rebel loner out on the highway or out on the cowboy trail, making his own way, despite what everybody else says. And these people were writing more about adult relationships and trying to keep it together, trying to keep the marriage together, trying to pay the bills, trying to balance work and home, all those things that are sort of a different kind of marriage than maybe their parents had, where the woman is not just, in the kitchen all the time, but, out working and having an equal say in things. And sort of, Roseanne Cash once told me that she realized that country music is really like marriage music. It's for adults and about those kind of relationships, whereas, rock and roll is about, dating and falling in love for the first time. And so
drugs, some of that,
some of that, yeah. Depending on who you're listening to, yeah.
So, so all that, I thought this was a very important movement in country music that had never been recognized as a music. And I think the reason it hadn't been is it didn't have a snappy name. Like the Outlaws.
That was it.
Yeah, and so I said, well, I work with words. I'll give them a name. And I came up with in-law country because of the marriages and the subject matter and all that. So.
Well, it's interesting, too. Who would you think is, obviously, Emmylou is the first one that I think of as kind of the center point. If you have somebody that's the middle of the spoke that has all the connections, it seems like it was Emmylou.
That's absolutely true.
And just especially with the California branch of the cousins, if you will, if you're talking about in-law. And I think back to thinking of that type of country when we get the California vibe and we get that kind of singer-songwriter that's being influenced into it. I feel like she was the bridge that kind of got everybody into Nashville. Would you say that that's true, that she was the one that kind of married those two things together a little bit?
Well, a couple things. Emmylou was definitely the sort of main figure. Rodney and Ricky Skaggs both were in her bands for a while. Roseanne, of course, was married to Rodney and emulated Emmylou. She, recorded songs by all these people. She had the first success. She sort of created the template for the whole thing. So, yeah, she's central. One of the things I try to point out in the book is that her producer on all those early records is this Canadian named Brian Ahern, and who had produced Anne Murray and was recruited to work with this new artist by Warner Brothers. And he crafted the sound that we associate with all these people, which is this sort of really careful balance of electric and acoustic instruments, so you can hear both of them, very uncluttered arrangements, not a lot of splashy cymbals or strumming guitars. And so you're hearing what he wants you to hear. And it has this very sort of translucent feel to it. And, when Rodney and Ricky Skaggs and Tony Brown and Emery Gordy all went on, became producers, they sort of carried the Brian Ahern gospel. I always say that it's like in football, we talk about coaching trees. Where you have a head coach and their assistant coaches go out and become head coaches.
Sure.
This was a producing tree.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's interesting too is there's some music from that mid 70s to early 80s that when you hear it now sounds fine, but it sounds very dated. And all of this stuff still sounds so fresh to my ears, and that's a beauty of it as well.
Yeah, and so Brian, they moved out to California, and Brian got this tractor trailer with a studio in it, and parked it in the driveway, and started recording Emmylou and then some of her friends, and it created the sound. And the advantage of being in California is that you don't have the Nashville studios looking over your shoulder all the time, and you got more time to experiment. And having your own studio, you don't have to crank out 3 songs a day, which was definitely the norm back then. and you could take your time and sort of treat it like, well, the way the rock and roll bands were doing it, which is they would take their time and get everything right, so that it wasn't just, 2 singles and a bunch of filler. It was like every song was got the same treatment. So.
Well, and I think too, what was parallel happening in Nashville at this time? Like you've got that happening. It feels like it's, I don't want to say the antithesis, but I'm thinking of the big Nashville sound and the big orchestration and the luxurious feel.
Ray Price.
Ray
would have been
Price,
big
yeah,
at that same
that-
time.
Well,
Yeah.
this is a little bit later than that, I think.
Yeah.
Outlaws had just happened. So
Okay.
just a few years before Emmylou, the Red-Headed Stranger,
Right.
Waylon, Billy Joe Shaver, that whole thing had just happened. And then it was also Urban Cowboy time. So
Got it.
there was
Okay.
that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
And then, all the people who have been there forever were still doing what they did. So, what's interesting about this group of people at that time is that, unlike Americana music, a lot of Americana artists who, believe me, I love a lot, these people wanted to be on country radio. And they wanted to, in a way that, say, the Flying Burrito Brothers or the Byrds never got the hang of.
Right.
They, talked to DJs, they,
Play the
talked
game.
to fans, played
Yeah,
the game,
yeah.
and had hits.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they were on the fringe somewhere experimenting. They were like trying to be on country radio and were succeeding. So.
Oh man, this is just, I can't wait to dig more into this, because this is the type of thing that I think anybody that loves our genre of music and really appreciates where we've come from and listening to what we're listening to now, that you see so many parallels and you see where the roots are. And so this is just going to be fascinating.
Yeah,
And-
you can still hear echoes of it in people like,
Right.
Miranda Lambert
Yes.
and Jamie Johnson and Eric Church to an extent,
Yeah.
and Margot Price and Jason Isbell. And so it's not on the singles charts anymore, but it's still on the album charts
Yeah.
in country music.
This
So.
is so cool. And you did this in connection with the Country Music Hall of Fame. So we want to tell everybody, if you're going to the Country Music Hall of Fame, go to the gift shop, because that's one place you can find it.
Right.
But if you're not there, you can get it on Amazon as well.
Yeah, and then at Parnassus Books.
here in Nashville, which is an amazing bookstore. So stop by and see it. Thank you for coming in and talking to
I'm
us
glad to
today.
do it.
Yeah.
You mentioned the new book is Willie Nelson. It's called Willie Nelson All the Albums. This is this is not like doing the Beatles All the Albums, because you got 12. With Willie, you got
Willie has-
152.
Is that how many now? I knew
I'm
it was
right,
over
isn't it?
100,
Yeah,
but
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's more if you
yeah.
count some of the budget
Oh,
reissues,
absolutely.
but
yeah, but just the ones. Yeah, just the
the serious ones.
Oh, that's great.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming in. Geoffrey Himes is here. The book is out right now. Go pick it up. This is great for like getting ready for Christmas and all the presents. Perfect for any music lover out there. Thanks for coming in. Good to see you.
Glad to be here.
From WSM Radio, this is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Welcome in, everybody. It is a Monday right here inside the studio, and we are joined by Conor Clemmons. It's good to see
Hey,
you.
y'all. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So what's been happening in your world? New music? No, all the things, man.
Yeah, nothing at all, right?
Nothing at all. You've just
No.
been hanging out.
No, yeah, it's the perfect tornado going on right now. Yeah, we got new music, great music video. I got a big show next week here in town. So this week, gosh, it's this week now.
Yes.
You panicked me for a second.
I know. Listen,
That's when you know it's a whirlwind.
once you hit
right?
October, November, December, it's just all one big day.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
slide into
Yeah.
the holidays.
Absolutely.
For sure. You know, it's so funny. My friends and I have talked about this, because all of us have these big dreams, right? We really
Yeah.
want these things to happen. And then when they start happening and they're like one right after the other, you have to stop and take a deep breath. And we have a saying, these are the days we prayed for.
Oh, it's so good.
Right? I don't have any tattoos, but if I get one, that's my first
No,
one.
that's so great.
So these are the days you prayed for.
Yeah, it reminds me of sometimes from stage, I have a specific song that I do, and I always just thank the audience, and I'm like, you being here makes the dream that I had when I was a little kid real. So, without them listening, I'm just a kid on stage making noise, but like them showing up means that like the thing that I dreamed of doing as a kid, they make real. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So, kid back in Charlotte.
Yes.
All right. What was going on in Charlotte, North Carolina growing up?
Golly.
My wife grew up in Charlotte.
Really?
I love Charlotte.
I do
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Charlotte's great. It's what birthed the love for country music for me. I saw Garth for the very first time at 16 at the Charlotte Coliseum back in the day, and it was just like Charlotte grew my love for like 90s, early 2000s country, but I also never thought that coming to Nashville and like chasing that dream was a reality. And you fast forward and you see a shift take place, and you see opportunity and recognition come to the plate. And I said, what the heck, let's do this thing.
If you do radio long enough, your brain is filled with kind of obscure trivia that every once in a while comes in handy. Was the Charlotte Coliseum not the building that when they built it and hung the scoreboard, it fell and crashed?
Yeah.
I mean, it was
gosh.
it was like huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was for a Hornet. They're getting ready for like the Hornets were obviously the first tenant.
Yeah.
And this multi-million-dollar scoreboard just crashed.
Can you imagine what the reaction was after that? Everybody just stood and looked at each other like,
We
Well,
got this thing insured, don't we?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's
That's
first
also
question.
like, you think about it, it's like that was before social media, so the only way we knew about it was like the news coverage. But it's like, something that huge right now, it's like within seconds.
The world knows about
Yeah.
it,
well,
right?
they were like, let's get video of you putting it up.
Absolutely.
That would be horrible.
So you been to Carowinds as a kid, I'm assuming?
Grew up going to Carowinds, season pass every summer.
You ever done Fury?
Come on.
Really?
Come
That's
on.
I am not scared of rides.
That's the one I'm scared of.
That one gets
Really?
me. Fury gets me a little bit.
I'm an adrenaline junkie. So
if it was one of those that had, I'm fine. But
No.
that little tiny thing they give you
No.
to hang on to. I don't
For
know
everyone
about
that's
that.
listening, that is a very intense roller coaster.
Yes,
If you don't know what we're
yeah.
talking about.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's very intense. It's, you gotta
Wow.
go. Yeah, you gotta
So-
get up to like Cedar Point and, ride Millennium Force. Come on.
Okay.
The big one now that I chickened out on, and I'll admit it, was Velociraptor. That was
I want to do that one, Velocicoaster.
Or
Yes.
Velocicoaster.
Yeah.
That's at Universal. I had a friend that is a junkie that
Love
rides
it.
them all the time, and she was like, I was absolutely terrified.
Yeah,
and I said,
no.
if you're scared, I'm not
I wish
on
they
it.
were open year round. I would go all the time.
I love that.
Serious.
I love that you have that.
Yeah.
Well, you're in the right business.
Yeah.
If you like the ups and downs.
I was getting
friend.
ready to say I'm on a roller coaster at all times.
I mean, seriously. But you said something earlier when you were talking about representation, and you were talking about that because we are seeing a shift. And I think one of the beautiful things that's happening right now in country music is we're building a bigger table, and everybody who wants to make country music is welcome into the family, and we're seeing that. And that has to feel different and special for you to be like, I feel like there's a door open for me to walk through, but then also I get to hold the door open for the next person that's coming through.
Yeah, for sure. I was just at an event last week with the Magnolia Rising Girls.
Yeah.
Getting the opportunity just to pull them aside and say, like, I remember when they were a part of Still Magnolia, and to see them on a platform like AGT and then tour, and then we did CMA Fest together, and it was like my very first CMA Fest, and so it was just like I had the opportunity to tell them, like, you came before me. We were just talking about War and Treaty as well. When I see them, there's just a level of like, there was a point, my grandfather just passed at 95. He was born in 1929. Wow. And one of his favorite things in his last few years was just getting to come and see me perform. It didn't matter where I was. And I think there's a level of like, he never thought I would be able to do what I'm doing. It makes me a little emotional just because it's like, you think 1929, my grandfather, lived through so much as a man of color, and to see his grandson up on stage. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now you get me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, it's special, but it's a lot of work. We got a lot of work to do, but the fact that it's being done is what matters. And aside of putting on a great show and creating great music, if I do have an opportunity to lay just one brick on the road for the ones that come behind me, then I'm doing it.
Well, we got a pretty good brick Thursday night. First ever
sir.
Headlining show in
Absolutely.
Nashville. That's a big deal.
That's huge.
Yeah. After being here for 14 years, and I started touring when I was in my 6th year, but I was playing like college and military shows all over the country, and so like that was my focus. My focus was like pay your rent and just play as much as possible, and so just my focus was not on playing in Nashville, and then obviously we head into COVID, and then the time when I would have started playing in Nashville, we weren't playing at all.
Right.
And so then after COVID was like, make great music, put it out, do the thing, surround yourself with good people and a good team, and the time is now. And so yeah, this Thursday I cannot wait to tear every piece of wood off of the building that we were playing in.
I love it so much. Okay, so give us the backstory on Nothing Like Love. That's what we're going to play first.
Yeah, so like we referenced earlier, growing up in Charlotte, North Carolina, there was, I think the first sign of like, this is actually something I'm really into was the like discovery and of Rascal Flatts. Just because their sound was a little bit outside of the box. It
Those
had
harmonies.
the harmonies and the runs of Gary.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is so familiar while also at the same time really new. So when we wrote Nothing Like Love, I was like, I want to have a great love story that reminds me of listening to Rascal Flatts, and then pair it with a little bit of like contemporary new Dan and Shay. And so production wise, that was where we wanted to land, and we just wanted to tell a really great special love story that just reminds people of that moment when you went from loving the material things in life to loving that special person.
I love that. Well, Nothing Like Love. You're hearing it this morning. It's Conor Clemmons on WSM.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
2025 CMA member ambassador with us, Conor Clemmons. How does one become the member ambassador for CMA?
Yeah, honestly, it is a brand new initiative that they just rolled out this year. And so I'm like in the inaugural class. They just opened up the opportunity to CMA members, and there's everyone from artists and industry. There's a lawyer on the team. But we're all different tiers.
Okay.
And our goal was just to amplify CMA, just because I think a lot of people only know CMA for fest and awards. And there's just so much work that CMA does within the industry and within the community. And they brought us on just to help, amplify and, gamify membership. And so, yeah, I think we're at a little over 800 brand new members applications this year because of what we've done. Whereas normally I think they get like 150 in a year.
Well, and once upon a time it was difficult. Like you had to have, I remember I had to have like 2 different references that were already current CMA members. And so there were some different things. And I think it was a little intimidating, and new people in town thought, oh gosh, okay, you can't be a part of that until you've been here for X number of years or whatever. But yeah, you're right. There are so many cool things that they get to do throughout the year.
The biggest part for me with becoming a member was as an independent artist. I didn't have opportunities to have things like insurance. And becoming a CMA member literally gives us access to vital and important things like that. So it's like, sure, you get to vote, you get to go to the things, but there are also so many things that the independent artists of this city just get to be championed by CMA for that most of them don't know.
Yeah,
That's
life.
wonderful.
I mean,
100%.
Yeah. One big thing they do is they're in charge of who goes into the Hall of Fame. And we did that last night with Kenny Chesney, June Carter Cash, and the great producer, legendary Tony Brown.
Yeah.
So most people think the Hall of Fame vote. No, it's the CMA.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
That's awesome. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's amazing.
Just doing what I can to give back.
So let's talk about finding songs versus songwriting. Are you writing a lot of your own stuff? Are you getting pitched things? How does the music come to you?
Yeah, for sure. A little bit of both.
Okay.
I speaking of my grandfather earlier, he would always say, I'll never cut my grass if there's somebody that I know that can make it look the way that I want, and I can't. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And he's like, there's so many different things in the world. There's occupations that people are excellent at that a lot of us try to emulate or imitate. And so moving to this town, I started becoming friends with some incredible songwriters that just people don't know about or don't get the opportunity to shine a light on. And so a great song is a great song as far as I'm concerned. And I love pairing with them to do a write. I love a co-write. But there's also times like the song we're going to do a little bit later is written by one of my like heroes, Devin Dawson. So, so it's like, how do you run away from the opportunity to do something like that and just to like have it in, in my arsenal. So yeah, I'll write co-write, but I'll also love to champion a songwriter.
It's award-winning Devin Dawson.
Yes.
God's Country did
That's
pretty
right.
well.
Thank you very much.
Among others, for sure.
A lot of number ones.
You have achieved a level of status that I have not achieved yet. I think Kelly probably has as well. But if you mistype my name in Google, it does not say, "Did you mean Charlie Matos?" It gives you some entirely random person. But I always want to spell your first name with 2 N's and your second name with 1 M, and it's 1 N and 2 M's.
Yes.
But immediately, did you mean? And it's
Yes.
that's exactly who I meant.
Oh my gosh.
So you have a did you mean in Google.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 and 2 M's. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
You got an AKA, also known as. That's pretty cool. Well, introduce your band this morning. Who
Yeah,
you got
for
with
sure.
us?
This is the one and only Mr. Eli Davis.
Hi, Eli.
Shout out to his parents. I know they're listening.
Oh, where are they listening from?
Manchester, Tennessee.
They're in Manchester.
Yeah.
And what are their names?
Gina and Richie. Yeah, they're
Gina
both
and
they're freaking out
Richie.
right now.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Hey,
we're
you,
so excited.
you always got a place to stay for Bonnaroo.
That's right.
Well, unless they rent the house out and get out of town,
Yeah, there's
which
that
is probably.
too.
I think I would do that just for the parking. That's perfect.
Golly.
Well, we're glad that they're listening this morning. What are y'all going to play for us?
Yes, we're going to do Double Standard.
Okay.
It's written by Griffin Palmer and Mitch Clark and Alyssa. And yeah, this is the single that came out right before this last one we just listened to. So
All right, take it away.
Okay.
This is Conor Clemmons. Bass backwards is my favorite thing that I've heard this morning.
yes, little bass backwards for
So
you.
good.
Thank you.
That's amazing. So we mentioned you've got a show coming up. It's your first headlining show here in Nashville, the Back Corner.
Yeah.
So people can go get tickets, come hang out with you.
Yeah.
You have opened for some cool people, though. Walker, I just worked Opry debut for Walker Hayes a
Okay.
few months ago,
Yeah.
and he's really cool.
He's
Yeah.
great.
But guys like Gavin DeGraw, Edwin McCain, I mean, those are some pretty cool folks.
Yeah. I've been really, really blessed to get to watch some really great artists, and so they've kind of, I've taken little bits and pieces and of what they've done and put my own little puzzle together. So yeah, I'm blessed with those opportunities and friendships.
Edwin had one of my favorite lines in studio. He goes, I don't have a lot of hits, but I have 2 really big ones that allow me to play for the rest of my life.
Yep.
That's all it takes.
And everybody
Absolutely.
knows those too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's all it
Absolutely.
takes.
100%.
So good. Okay, so dream board. What's on it? Let's make some manifestations happen this morning,
Yeah,
Connor.
come
What are you
on.
looking forward to? What do you want to happen?
Yeah. Playing the Opry.
Love
For
it.
sure. Top of the list, just to be a part of that community. Also, I keep referencing my grandfather, but he's always just told me to take it one day at a time. And having lived in this town for 14 years, there's been times when I think the thoughts and the dreams get ahead of the steps. And so just taking it one day at a time, I just want to put out great music. I want to continue to have opportunities like this to come and hang out with y'all and let the music and the work stand for itself.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And Gina and Richie, they're listening. Okay.
Come on.
Glad that y'all are listening in
Eli.
Winchester. Thank you for coming
Thanks,
in.
y'all, for
Conor
having me.
Clemmons, everybody go see him. He's going to be at Back Corner here in Nashville. First headlining show. And there's more right here on Coffee Country and Cody. Cassius Culpepper on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry this morning. And we're hearing all of that right here on WSM. Good morning, everybody. We're talking about entertainment headlines as well. Last night, I have to say, being at the Opry is always magical. But last night was extra special because it was the Opry and St. Jude coming together. So St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, can't say enough amazing things about it. But last night we had a show and it was benefiting St. Jude. Brand new t-shirts are out. It says Music Gives to St. Jude Kids. So you probably have seen the shirts that say this shirt saves lives. Well, this year, complete redesign. All you have to do is become a member in Hope. So if you're a partner in Hope, you are donating every month to St. Jude and you get this really cool t-shirt. They sent me mine early and I bedazzled it.
So do you do this like for freelance? Like,
Bedazzling
could
things?
people, commission you to
Listen,
bedazzle?
the
I
amount-
realize you're pricey, but
The amount of time and effort and energy that went into the bedazzling, as well as the fumes that I inhaled from the glue that goes on, I just don't think I could take on another one.
so you got a little high, did we?
Oh, it's real strong glue, friends. It will stand up in the washing machine, and because of that, it's like, whoop.
That's
It's,
the new thing, bedazzling. It's back.
It's a lot. I didn't mean to, but no. So we were there last night, and I had two special guests that were there. Both of them patients at St. Jude. Harper was a patient when she was younger. She's 12 years old, completely in remission, incredible competitive dancer. She came out and introduced Mitchell Tenpenny, and then Kinsey, who is 5 and currently a patient, just had a bone marrow transplant 6 months ago. Her sister Ellie was the donor, which was just incredible. Yeah. Whole family was there last night. So Anzie got to come out on stage and introduce Kelsey Ballerini. And it is the most precious clip. It's on all of our socials. So go find it at Instagram or go over and look at the Opry's page. But I just said, do you want to tell them who's coming out? And she says, introducing Kelsey Ballerini. Yeah. Just precious. And then they both went out and danced on stage. Kelsey said, you can come out and dance anytime you want to. So they become Kelsey's backup dancers last night and danced while she was singing If You Go Down, I'm Going Down Too, which is all about if you're in trouble or if you murder your husband, I'll come with bleach, which I thought was hysterical. But like the kids were having the best time and it was such a magical night. So thank you to all of our friends at St. Jude. Again, if you need more information, always you can go to St. Jude on their website. You can also go to musicgives.org because that's where you can get your t-shirt.
And the week just keeps giving because there's great show after great show this week. Tomorrow night, you and Miss Amber are taking over. It's the Amazon Country Heat Weekly takeover and an incredible lineup. And then Saturday, it's Opry Goes Pink. So, it's just a week of great shows. Amy Grant's going to flip the switch this year.
And we have double shows with Carrie Friday night and Saturday night.
Carrie will obviously be part of Opry Goes Pink as well. So,
Carrie's going to be there. So, if you guys haven't come to an Opry show, now's the time, friends. Come on out. On Tuesday, our takeover for Country Heat, Amazon Music. We've got Lainey Wilson, Lauren Elena, Gabby Barrett, Dan and Shay, Russell Dickerson, Carter Faith, and Nolene Hoffman. And... we've got breaking news. It will be broadcast live on Amazon Prime Video.
Oh, I'm a Prime member.
So you can watch.
Get all that festiveness there. Yeah. You
can watch. You can listen on the radio. You can watch it on your TV. It's all going to be happening. And I'm very, very thrilled about it.
That's very
It's going to be cool.
I can't imagine how many people are going to watch that.
I know.
That's really cool.
Very cool. So we're excited about that. Okay, let's talk about entertainment headlines. Some of the things that are happening around, including Lainey Wilson, just in time. Just when you think she can't do anything else, she drops a Christmas project on us. I was like, where did this come from? Lainey Wilson wants peace, love, and cowboys for Christmas. That's the title of the Superstar's new holiday EP, which features a new holiday edition of the title track. Originally appeared on her Whirlwind album, just in case you were looking. The collection also includes her recently released posthumous duet with crooner Bing Crosby on Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. That's amazing. And the artwork is precious because she's in a snow globe. I will say Bing to me is just quintessential Christmas, right? And White Christmas has to be one of my favorites. Okay, George Strait. He's going to Death Valley. If you want to go see him, everybody, he's returning to the stage in 2026, playing May 2nd. It's going to be at Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina.
My brain defaulted to Clemson when you said Death Valley, but then a thought of me was like, oh, is he really going like California in the desert and they're like building an amphitheater just for him?
If there was a person they could build an amphitheater for, I think it would be him. You're right.
Yeah,
if it'll
be more comfortable at Clemson.
Yeah. I think that's a better call. Cody Johnson and Wyatt Flores are going to join him on the date. Look at you, Wyatt Flores. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love him.
Terrific.
Absolutely. So this is going to be pretty cool. He says going back to Death Valley for the first time in more than 25 years feels pretty special. I can't wait to see you, Clemson. Get ready for it. He played only 5 shows this year in 2025 with stops in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Boston, and LA. So, if you're just thinking, oh, he's got more shows, he might not. He's George. He does what he wants. In December, he's going to be celebrated as the 47th Kennedy Center Honors. So he will be there for that. And then he's going to be inducted into the Texas Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2026. Congratulations to George Strait. That's all good things. Speaking of Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame happened here last night. We have new inductees into the Hall of Fame. I didn't get a chance to go to the medallion ceremony because I was working last night, but that is one of the most special nights being at the Country Music Hall of Fame when you see them actually get their medallions around their neck.
And it's one of the few things that is truly just for the people in the room because they don't live stream it.
No.
There's no video. I mean, you catch clips afterwards, right? But when you're there, you're in the moment. And Tony Brown, our friend who's been coming to see us for years, the late, great June Carter Cash, and Kenny Chesney. What a class.
Congratulations to all of them. I saw a picture that came out because they do a little red carpet beforehand, and it was just perfect the way that it all looked. And Kenny had on a cowboy hat. He didn't have on his little baseball cap. So I was wondering.
Aw,
He
okay.
dressed it up for us. I knew he would.
Yeah.
I knew he would.
He
would
brought
come
some
correct.
rum, though, so it's okay. It all worked out all right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Rum's on me,
he had the
everybody.
tour sponsor set, so it's all good.
That would be so great if he was looking around and it was like, oh, what's everybody drinking? Well, I've already branded it.
Bring my own. That's right.
Thank you very
yes.
much. I make sure that I have it. We've got more right here on Coffee Country and Cody this morning. Thanks for being a part of the show.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
You know, some people we welcome into the studio for the very first time, and we're like, hey, come on in. When Charles Esten comes to see us, we're like, hey, back door's unlocked. You know where everything is, right? You got it?
Help
We were
yourself.
like, we're starting here in a few seconds. Come on in, have a seat.
I feel at home. And by the way, I love this place here. I never sort of minded it when you guys at the last place.
Yeah.
Over there at the Gaylord, but this is nice. This is your little, it's so homey. It's like, you literally come up the back porch.
Come up the back porch. We got the back
Be
door
on the show.
unlocked.
Yeah.
Make yourself a cup of coffee. Come on in. Yeah, welcome in. This is Simply Superior Studio here at the ACUV House. We've got a new setup. So you've been in here before, but this is kind of new configuration.
Correct. Yeah. This
So
is
we're
brand new.
changing things around just a little bit. But happy to have you in and to talk about Light the Night, year 13. This is so exciting that it's been going on and that you've been a part of it this long and having everything happen in Nashville. So very exciting thing, but I know it comes from a very personal place for you. And I say that because last night we were at the Opry with St. Jude.
Of course.
So we have all these little kids that are hanging out with us backstage. Little girl, Anzie, comes on stage, 5 years old, currently in treatment, just had a bone marrow transplant 6 months ago.
She introduced Kelsey. Yeah, she did.
And the little voice, I was like, oh my goodness, to think about having a child that's going through something like that. And that's what you lived through, your daughter.
Yeah, our daughter Addie, when she was 2.5 years old, she had some little procedure, some that had nothing to do with any of this, but she wasn't bouncing back from it. She was still staying very pale. Her lips were pale, and she had these little tiny dots, almost like freckles, called petechia on her. And the doctors just thought she wasn't just healing. They go, don't worry, she'll get better. She's going to get this shit. But my wife, Patty, she had that mama's intuition, and so she took her to our pediatrician, and she did a blood test, and she said, you got to get over the hill to Cedars-Sinai. We went there, and within a day or two, all the tests came back, and they said, yeah, it's leukemia. But the thing that I will never forget is they said, and here's what we're going to do. Because when I was a kid, leukemia was a virtual death sentence.
Right.
For kids. At this point, it was an 85% survival rate. Now, that's the biggest 15 you've ever heard of in your life when
is
they're
your
telling you that number. But they said, here's the things we're going to do. And they put her into chemotherapy. She went into remission, about 1.5 years of chemotherapy. And then you just get blood tests an awful lot, and you keep your head down, and you sort of walk away for a little bit, like, let's put that behind us.
Right.
But then there's a part of you that goes, well, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society was the reason that 85% was 85%. So we owe a debt we can never repay because we were so grateful. You know, our faith and our family and our friends, they supported us through it. But LLS is who did all the research that got all the drugs that was able to save our daughter. Addie turns 26
Oh my
on
gosh.
October 25th. And the day later, on October 26th, our 26-year-old daughter is going to run 26 miles in the Marine Corps Marathon up in Washington, D.C. So that is the short story about how well she is doing. And that's why we do this. I should let everybody know, just this year, Leukemia Lymphoma Society, who we've been doing these things for the last 13 years, has rebranded as Blood Cancer United.
Okay.
Blood Cancers United. The reason being there were other blood cancers that
Right.
weren't in that name, that weren't leukemia or lymphoma. And they didn't want anyone not to feel a part of it. And I love the team aspect. Blood Cancers United sounds like a team, and that's
Right.
exactly what it is. One other thing I will say that's so special is that it was here at the Opry. The great Pete Fisher, back when he ran the place, he was the one that heard my story and said, maybe you'd like to help us with LLS of Middle Tennessee. And he brought us together, and we've been a part of that ever since. We do the walk, the Light the Night walk on the night of the 23rd.
Yes, that's
Back
Thursday
me
night.
up on that. Yeah. And then after that, at a certain point, I go, well, we got all these beautiful people here raising money earlier in the night. We're in Music City. Why don't we have a party? Why don't we have a show? So it's called Light the Late Night. It will be the 12th annual Light the Late Night concert. And we're just so excited. We got some great Opry members as guests coming in. Yeah. So, yeah, we got Don Schlitz, the great Don Schlitz, songwriter. Like,
my
I mean,
gosh.
that's on the
Just don't follow
Mount
him.
Rushmore of
That's the
songwriters.
thing. It's
right?
like of all of the people I never want to be in a writer's round after Dawn because the storytelling and then he ends with the gambler and
Yeah,
you're
and he
like,
plays
well,
the gambler.
and
Yeah.
good night, everybody. We're done
or
here.
forever and ever, amen.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
or
right,
just
right.
or when you say nothing at all, it's like, how did you write all of those?
Sure.
You know me, I digress all the time. Quick story I got to tell Don in the very final episode of Nashville. Raina, spoiler alert, appears to Deacon. Raina appears to Deacon in a dream backstage at the Ryman,
Right.
because Deacon is playing the Ryman, and he's having trouble reconciling with his father. So in this dream, she gives him some great advice, like she always did, and he says how much he misses her, and she says, don't worry, we're going to be together someday and forever, and Deacon says forever, and then she in the original script just said forever. And I did a little rewrite there. They let me do it, God bless them, where I say forever, and she says forever, and then she goes forever and ever, and then Deacon says, amen.
Oh.
So we put that Don Schlitz lyric is the last thing that
Little-
Deacon and Raina say to each other.
little nod.
So and besides Don Schlitz, we got the great Pam Tillis.
And you were telling me this
as
really
well.
cool story about Pam and Callie, who wrote and really is the creator of Nashville.
Well, Pam, of course, is just an amazing woman, one of the great ladies of country, an iconic artist, and of course, her dad was no slouch.
Mel was always one of those people that I loved just being around him because he had a twinkle in his eye.
Oh.
You knew he was either thinking of something funny he wanted to say or he was about to say something really funny.
He was either self-editing or getting ready not to.
Yes.
She is the only Opry star to ever have inducted a parent.
Oh.
So that's pretty cool.
Man,
That
that
is
is the
true.
Because she was a
coolest,
member
yeah.
before he was.
I feel so
Yeah.
grateful that I got to meet him years ago when I first got here. And of course, I knew Pam from the beginning, but here's why. The creator of our show was an incredibly talented woman, a writer named Callie Curry. Callie Curry got an Oscar for her screenwriting for her screenplay of Thelma and Louise. Now, Callie later told me, and she'll tell everybody, that Thelma and Louise, that relationship, those two besties, those ride or dies, literally, or maybe ride and dies.
Right.
Where that was Callie and Pam. Pam Tillis has been her dear friend forever,
Crazy.
and that kind of rapport, that back and forth, that banter, everything but that going off the cliff into the canyon is them. And so when I first came to Nashville, and I've been trying to get to this town forever and trying to play the Bluebird forever, and time just wasn't let it happen. And then I get this script, Nashville, and I find that my very first scene as Deacon singing a song, I'm sitting in the round at the Bluebird Cafe, and who is sitting across from me holding her guitar but the great Pam Tillis.
Nice.
And she sang with me on the very first song that Deacon sang on Nashville.
That is so cool.
By the way, Deacon will be singing at the Ryman in January of next year because the Encore Tour is
Oh,
going
yeah.
on as well, which
Yeah,
is really
absolutely.
great.
That's so cool.
It's incredible the power and the staying power of the show and these songs. You know, the show just got released on Netflix
Yep.
again. It's over the
Yeah.
years. It's been sometimes tricky to watch all 6
I
seasons.
got a $7 check.
You got that $7 check. Waffle House, you and me, baby.
When you get to be a reporter in 3 or 4 episodes, every once in a while I'm like, oh, well, hello, look at this.
I remember her performance, and it was worth twice that.
Thank you very much. But it does, it's now opened up to a whole new legion of fans that didn't maybe see it the first time. Maybe they weren't even born the first time around that are now watching
and a whole
it.
lot of people, they're just going back to watch it again because it's so easy to do now. But one of the great things about our show that other shows don't necessarily have is you can't always be sitting down and watching an episode,
Sure.
but you can always go stream that music, that Nashville music, that from start to finish. I think that was the part. Look, we had some crazy storylines and some weird, odd moments in the show. I'm going to be honest. It was network television. You had to pay the piper.
Sure.
But the music never faltered for a moment. I could listen to any one of those songs again and again. And that's what people seem to think. So not only are we going to be playing here in North Carolina, we have a show at the Ryman Auditorium, and then we head back to the UK, where you just got back from not long
they
ago.
love
They love you guys there.
love it.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. And not only the UK, we're playing German dates, and for the first time ever, we're going to be in Zurich, Switzerland. So we keep trying to wrap our minds around it. That, by the way, is me, and she played my niece on the show, Claire Bowen.
I love it.
Played Scarlett, and Sam Palladio played Gunnar, and Jonathan Jackson played Avery. And
He's
I
coming
always
to
think
see us in the
what's
next week.
that?
Jonathan's coming to see us in the next week or two as well
Jonathan
with new
is
music.
just
So-
man, I have such a heart for that guy. He is unbelievable. I think he might have just won another daytime Emmy
I think
for
so.
his work
Yeah.
as Lucky. I think I just saw that. And the crazy thing about that is he already had 6 of them for playing Lucky on General Hospital. And that's just the measure of, I think, how real, how authentic, and what a wonderful guy he is.
Yeah.
But to get to hang out with these folks and sing these songs and sing these duets and these group songs again, I've often likened it to, you know how in a piñata when you knock it down and the candy all comes out?
Yeah.
But if you go over and you shake it, there's always a little,
little
bit more
extra.
candy in it. That's Nashville, baby. We're still
Listen.
shaking it.
Shake away. We love it. We're going to play Light the Night right now. So give us the details on the song, when it came out.
Well,
and-
this is an incredible thing because, first of all, we are supported by some of the most amazing people. A lot of them started out as Nashies, which is the nickname for Nashville fans. And then they found out this cause that we were working towards. And now there's this whole team called Team Addie. And if anybody wants to join, if you have a heart for this, if you want to walk with us, if you just want to donate from afar, you can go to charlesesten.com, look for Team Addie. One of our team members, one of our top team members, was a guy named Gene Rapasardi. And he has been a songwriter his whole life, but only as a hobby. He put it to the side. He saw Nashville, and it made him want to come to Nashville eventually. And he joined our team as well. And he brought me a good portion of this song called "Light the Night." Wow. I made some tweaks here and there, and got enough to get on the co-write with him. And that's what's so special about this. And it really describes. One thing I will say is there's a part talking about our lanterns. When we do "Light the Night," when we walk, you will see lanterns out there that everybody carries. And red is for everybody supporting somebody who has blood cancer. Gold is in memory of somebody who lost their battle with blood cancer. And our favorite lanterns of all are the white. Those are the survivors. My daughter carries a white lantern. So many do. And at the very crucial moment of this whole event, all the white lanterns go to the middle. They haven't lit their lanterns yet. And when I say so from the stage, just hundreds of white lanterns get lit and lifted into the sky. And that's the power of Light the Night. And that's what the song's about.
Oh, we're hearing it this morning here on WSM. It's Light the Night with Charles Esten.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
We're chatting with our buddy Charles Esten this morning, and before the 13th annual Light the Night Walk that's happening this Thursday, there are so many amazing things that are surrounding it. You've got Light the Late Night, which is the concert that's happening, and then we didn't even mention that Deacon's Tour of Nashville. You got a bus, and you're taking everybody all around.
Yeah, this has been, people always love when they come to Nashville. First of all, this town was not just our location. This town was a character on the show Nashville. From the very opening, when you remember the helicopter coming in low over the trees and showing the city, which, by the way, it looks very different than it does now 13 years later.
I didn't even think about that.
Go look at that skyline.
Let me see if I'm right. Eli Young Band was the first song.
That's right.
Even if it breaks your heart.
And I think Eddie Stubbs is the first voice you hear from the stage of the Opry, or pretty close anyway, right in that opening scene.
Whose would it be?
Eddie Stubbs.
That would be right, and that would be appropriate. Oh, I miss Eddie. Eddie was fantastic. So people love to see the places that we shot. And so that's what we pulled together. I did this about 4 times about 8 years ago and hadn't done it in a while. We thought, why don't we bring back Deacon's Bus Tour of Nashville? I remember one time, the first season, after the show had blown up a bunch, my mother and sister, I was driving them to the airport, and I said, well, you want to see Deacon's house? And they said, yeah, sure. So we were swinging by Deacon's house over in East Nashville.
Yeah.
And there in the front yard was a mother and her teenage daughter taking a selfie standing
Oh, that's great.
in my lawn.
Did you yell, "Get off my lawn"?
I sure did.
Yeah, you did that.
I pulled over and I went, hey, get off of my lawn. And their heads swung over and they see Deacon yelling at them and their brains fell out their ears. And I laughed. I got out. We
amazing.
took some pictures, but that's how it is. So
awesome.
honestly, this thing, there's 50 seats on the bus and I'm on it with a microphone, just like giving a tour. I got a guitar. I'll sing songs now and then. And we got about 4 or 5 seats left. So anybody wants that, it's over on my Instagram stories, I believe, all day today. But it will sell out by the end of the day. But it's a joy for all these people that love the show so much to go by so many of those places that meant so much to the show.
Okay, so you saying that the first opening scene and the skyline of Nashville completely changed now, but the industry has changed so much too. It really does seem like it would be ripe for like a reboot of Nashville. I mean, think about how all of those stories now, they're the same, but they're different because now it's streaming and now it's not necessarily trying to get signed. Now you're trying to do it as an independent
I
artist.
always thought that it would have been interesting. I mean, there's the shows that somehow, like Grey's Anatomy, for instance, whoever the stars were sort of, they would remain, but then new life would come in and new people. That would have been interesting if we had been able to if they had kept that up. And just new generations as you go, because that's exactly what it is. Because that's the way this town is. This town is like a stage where, okay, your turn to step off the stage, your turn to step into the spotlight. And who are these younger acts, and who are they? And who's this person that blew up completely on socials, on TikTok, and who is this? So yeah,
Deacon is
it's
an
all about
independent
streaming.
Publisher.
Raina's head would be coming off trying to figure out. Well, it's funny because we were at the very beginning of dabbling at what it even meant to be, but we didn't get to what it is right now, and it's so hard. And honestly, it would be when I walk around this town, there's so many independent artists that we know, young up and coming artists, so incredibly hardworking, and nobody knows it's almost twice as hard. Like in Raina's day, for instance, you could go ahead and you were the artist, you were the ballerina up on the tightrope, and there was a whole industry pointing a light on you, setting the tent up, making the popcorn. Now these independent artists, they have to, and I'm one of them, God bless, but they have to do all of it. They set up the tent, they make the popcorn, they sweep up after the elephant. You got to do all that work. So it would be fascinating to see that next level.
Callie, if you're listening, give me a call.
There you go.
I've got ideas. I mean, the fan base is still there, and they love you guys so much, as evidence from everybody coming in and being a part of the bus tour, but then also seeing you when you guys are going out on tour again. So
we're so grateful. Yeah,
that's amazing.
You mentioned the first Deacon song was at the Bluebird. Now the set of the Bluebird that they created was remarkable. I mean, for someone who had been to the Bluebird, it mirrored it so well. What was it like to actually play the Bluebird for the first time?
It's really hard for me to explain, except I will say that I had been writing with a Nashville songwriter, my friend Jane Bach, for about 6 or 7 years by then. And twice she told me, hey, I want you to come sing with me at a round at the Bluebird. And I knew what that was. And I was like, yes. Twice I got acting work and I had to cancel my ticket because I couldn't go, all because I'm an amazing actor. No, that's a joke. I'm kidding.
Nope, that holds true. That holds true.
That's a joke.
That's right.
But it's the cross I bear. But what happens in the end, I remember saying this to my wife, Patty. I said, when am I going to get to go to Nashville? I go, it's never going to happen. And God laughed, and I got this script, and right across the middle it said, Nashville. And so I find myself not just in Nashville, but sitting in the Bluebird Cafe in one of those chairs, and across from me is Pam Tillis, and at the back of the room, Hayden Panettiere, with a tear going down her face at how beautiful my song is. And I was like, this is amazing. And by the way, the other thing I'll say about that set, that Bluebird set, we started off in the Bluebird, but we knew that we were going to use it way too much.
Oh, so you were in the real Bluebird. I thought it was the set of the Bluebird.
The pilot, we don't build a whole set for a
pilot
pilot
that's a valid
episode.
point.
They were kind enough to have us there. And, of course, Erica Wallams-Nichols, who runs the place, was right at the door. and we had all the bartenders, we had everybody there. But then when we knew we were going to shoot a first season, we knew we couldn't shut down the Bluebird all that time.
Yeah.
So they built one. And when I tell you they built one exactly, first of all, we had Erica Wallums-Nichols at the door. We had Jimmy, the same bartender, was over there. Every single headshot you see on that wall, they photocopied, put it in a similar frame. So it was kind of amazing. I always said that I told Erica, if anybody ever gets overserved here at the Bluebird, some guy passes out at the bar, call me. I'm going to come throw him in my trunk, and I'm going to bring him to our set, lay him out in exactly...
Let him wake up and be like, where am I? What's going on? Well,
but honestly, the truth of it is, when you walk in as an actor and see that much care, that much loving attention to detail, you go, oh, this could be good.
Yeah.
Spoiler, it was.
It was. All right, well, pick up that guitar.
All right,
I know you said you were going to play Back Home, which was the first song that Deacon got to play across from Pam Tillis in the Bluebird Cafe.
Yeah, and it felt real special to me because even though I'd never been here before, it felt like I was back home.
Yeah.
Coming from growing up in Virginia and Pittsburgh, all the green, all the lushness, all the rolling hills, all that, I had missed that when I was in LA for all those years. So this is called Back Home. Home.
Man, that's beautiful.
Thank you. You know, I realized I'm wearing one of Deacon's shirts right now. I am. I grabbed a whole bunch of his.
I was going to ask if you got to keep anything.
I
steal
kept a
anything
bunch.
from the
Well, you know, I
set.
kept his dog.
Yeah.
That's
I kept
right.
Oh,
I
that's
kept a
true.
bunch of his guitars and well, apparently this shirt. So
You know what?
maybe I'll wear it on stage at the Ryman.
I'm just saying. Listen, light the night. It's happening this Thursday. More information, of course, you've got it all over your social media, but also if
Sure.
they want to sign up to be a part of a team, they can do that.
Yep, CharlesEsten.com.
There you go.
And you can learn about all the shows, the Nashville shows too. January 23rd, we're in Greenville, South Carolina. I said North Carolina. It's Greenville, South Carolina. That's
Okay.
where we
They were gonna
shot
come
that
for
Outer
you.
Banks. Yeah. And then January 25th, we're at the Ryman.
And this Friday, you're right here at the Grand Ole Opry with Carrie Underwood.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, she's going to close out the show for you. So,
I appreciate it, Carrie. Thank you.
hey, thanks for coming to see us.
Thank you both.
We
Love you guys.
always love seeing you. Charles Esten in studio with us this morning right here on Coffee, Country, and Cody.